Okay, now how Docker works, or the overview of Docker architecture. Now this is from the official documentation, as you can see. So it is a trusted information. So Docker, as you can see, use a client server architecture. So which means that the client talks to the Docker daemon or the Docker server, which does a heavy lifting of building, running, and distributing your Docker containers. All right. Now let's have a look on the diagram. Actually, it is better. Now we have this client, as you can see, and we have the Docker host or the Docker server. Okay. So actually, the Docker client and Docker server can be on the same host or on the same machine. So it's okay. But in this diagram, they are separated. For example, like the SSH, we have an SSH server or SSHD, and we have SSH client, as well as the MySQL. We have a MySQL D, which is the daemon process, and we have, which is the server, and we have the MySQL client. Okay, so we have a client server, as simple as that. Now the client here, for example, we build, we pull, we run. Now these are specific commands from Docker. You send them to the Docker host or the Docker server. Now the Docker server has something called the Docker daemon. Now don't get afraid from the name. The Docker daemon, as simple as that, it is a process running on the background. It's a Linux process running in the background, if we are assuming this is a Linux machine or Windows, Mac, whatever. All right. So it is a process running in the background. It got this command, pull, build, run, whatever. Now depends on it, it will start taking action. So let's say example pull. So we want to pull a specific image from the registry. Now as you can see here on the right, that registry, and this is something like all the images will be there. Let's say, so for example, the Docker Hub. The Docker Hub is the same as GitHub, but the thing is, the GitHub for code and repos. So you will clone your repository, you pull, you push, whatever. The same thing as Docker Hub, it is for Docker images. So you can get Ubuntu image, Nginx, Python image, Alpine, a lot of the BusyBox, a lot of things actually from Docker Hub. And actually there are a lot of registries, and registries means a place that hold the images and can be downloaded, can be pulled. Okay, so this is the registry term. All right, and in our example, it is the Docker Hub. Okay, the Docker Hub, you can install or pull the Nginx, Python, Ubuntu, whatever images I need. All right, now let's return to the example. So I need to pull, as you can see, put the Docker pull command, and I will send it from the client to the server or to the Docker host. Now the Docker daemon will receive this command, the Docker pull. Oh no, it is a Docker pull. Okay, I will check first the images I have on my machine or on my Docker host. Oh, Ubuntu image is not here, so I need to get it from the registry. So from Docker host, it will retrieve the Ubuntu image inside here, inside the images, and from there I have it here. Okay, now if I want to run Docker run command, as you can see, now don't worry about the commands, about the images, the hands-on, all of that will be handled in details, but for now keep with me and let's have a look. Actually, it's an overview, let's say. Okay, no worries. So I want to run, I put from the client, I send the Docker run command, and Docker host will receive it, and on Docker daemon exactly, and the Docker process. From here, we want to run, for example, the Docker run Ubuntu. All right, so Ubuntu, is Ubuntu existed? No, for example, it is not existed on our images on the system or on the Docker host. So I need to get it from, or pull it from registry, which is Docker Hub in our example. I pull it down, okay, here, and it is found. Then from it, I create a container, okay, and actually the image is the operating system, let's say, or the distribution, okay, with a specific packages, specific whatever. The container is the live thing of that image, okay, as simple as that. But we will have a detailed lectures for that, don't worry. I think it is easy, all right, and simple, okay. So we have a client, and we have the server or the Docker host, and we have the registry, all right. So from the right, let's start. The registry is the place where we will get the images, and the Docker host is the Docker that has the Docker daemon, the Docker images, the Docker containers, the running live from the images that we will install or download from the registry, and the Docker client will send the commands, okay. And again, we can have the client and daemon or the Docker server on the same machine. Okay, so on the same server, we can have the Docker client and Docker daemon as well. All right. And again, the Docker daemon is a background process that running to receive the commands from the client, and depends on it will start taking action. Again, in our example, the pull and the run, the Docker daemon received that, and depends on it. It checked if it is the Ubuntu image is existed or not, and depends that running the containers if it is run, or pull only if it is not here. But if it is here on the images, no, I don't need to pull it. Or if you have a specific options and criteria for this image, for example, I don't need Ubuntu the latest, I need Ubuntu 16, Ubuntu 18, Ubuntu 20, whatever. All right. Now don't worry, all of that will be handled in details and a practice step by step. Okay. Now the first thing will be theory, because we need to understand the terms, the concepts, how things work, and so on. Then after that, everything will be handled in a practical way. So far, so good. Now, in the next lecture, we will start learning and know the difference between the containers and the virtual machines. Now, why we should use actually Docker containers? We can use or have a virtual machines, right? You will see in the next lecture why we should use Docker containers, or actually the difference between Docker containers and the virtual machines or VMs. All right, see you there.